Welcome to the second edition of Living in Shelby Township. One of the best parts of our community is the beautiful nature. So I'm here with Supervisor Rick Stathakis to talk about our environment in our community. And Rick, we just celebrated Arbor Day.
Yes,
and
we
a
did.
big new program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, many people thought it was just planting a new tree, but it's much bigger than that. Actually, preserving a better place is a new program that we just launched here in Shelby Township on Arbor Day. And it really is to just make Shelby Township a better place to live and to play and to do business, and just to kind of celebrate its beauty. We want to ensure that, we preserve Shelby Township's beauty for many generations to come, and that's what this program's all about.
And it also has these 4 facets, I understand. Yeah. And so can you tell us a little bit about them?
Well, there's actually 4 pillars to the program. One is Tree City USA, then there's Clinton Township Watershed Council, and there's Green Macomb. And the 4th one, I've got to cheat a little bit. It is called the
Preserve America.
You got it, Preserve America.
Yeah, I remember that one.
and actually, these 4 programs that's going to be the strategy as to how we achieve preserving Shelby Township a better place.
And I love that. I didn't know that we actually were a tree city.
Yes, we were. Actually, we always have been. We just never sent in the official paperwork, but we've always fulfilled the obligations and the minimum requirements, and actually went way over the minimum requirements every year for the last 10 years.
Wow.
But now we're officially certified.
Officially, we have the stamp. Now, we talk a lot about how we want to make sure that generations to come will continue to preserve our community and the nature inside of it. How will that happen?
Well, the Board of Trustees and all of our employees are behind this program, but we can't do it ourselves. We need everybody to pitch in, and they already do. I mean, you saw what happened on Cleanup Day. We had hundreds of people actually come and clean up the streets, and they're still out doing that now. Or even if it means coming out and having a picnic with a family or planting a new tree, there are a lot of activities that they can take part in.
So if residents want to get involved in this program, how can they do that?
Well, I invite everyone in Shelby Township to go to our website. It is www.shelbytwp.org/preserving. Go to that website, and on that site will be all kinds of upcoming events, conservation opportunities, educational resources, many activities. So please go to that site and see how you can pitch in.
Yeah, be a part of preserving our beautiful nature that we have here.
You betcha.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Okay.
It's a brand new partnership that will bring a little bit of literature into the parks. And it's all thanks to the Shelby Township Parks and Recreation Department and the Gardeners Club. Our Kyle Warsbach shows us how you can pick up a brand new book at the free little library in Heritage Gardens.
Have you ever been strolling through Heritage Garden and realized you forgot to bring a book? Well, now there's a new addition to the park that solves that problem. It's called a little free library. The premise is quite simple. You can either take a book and return it when you're done, or exchange it by sharing a book of your own.
People can take books out and read them, even take them on home from there if they didn't finish with it. They can donate books, just put them in there for somebody else to use. And chances are when you take a book or leave a book, you might not get it back if that's your intention. So it just for somebody else's enjoyment.
With Heritage Garden being one of the most beautiful parts of Shelby Township, putting a little free library here was a no-brainer for the Shelby Gardeners Club.
I think it's one more draw for the park. I think people you see a lot of dog walkers or just walkers around on the paths, and people who enjoy the flowers. And our club actually maintains the gardens here at the park, so we're very active in making sure everything looks good. We have a big cleanup coming up this month. We'll clean everything up that's happened over the winter, pull weeds, and then add all new flowers.
And Parks and Rec Director Joe Youngblood thinks that this will impact community involvement in our township.
Anytime in Shelby Township we can bring the community together, we're all for it. And this is right here another one of the ways we can, because it's a way you're helping out your residents without even knowing who's going to come and take the new book. But a lot of people have books at their house. They've used them, they read them, they want someone else to enjoy it. So this is a great way to do it.
While there are no direct plans, there is a possibility of adding more of these little free libraries in other Shelby Township parks.
We hope to work with possibly the Shelby Garden Club, or maybe there's some other clubs out there. With another idea we've had is some of the Eagle Scout projects, because they're always looking for programs. So we're going to continue with the little free libraries here in Shelby Township, and Shelby Parks and Rec is really excited to get these free books in the hands of our youth and adults here in Shelby Township.
For Living in Shelby, I'm Kyle Warzebach.
Did you know there's a place right here in Shelby Township that was part of the Underground Railroad? Or that there was a training facility for the legendary boxer Joe Louis? And that there was a missile defense base here during the Cold War? Well, look no further than Riverbends Park. Our Arthur Shink tells us the story of this historical landmark.
If you are new to the Shelby Township area or have yet to venture out to some of the beautiful parklands that the township has to offer, you might be surprised about the unique history that lies within the township's borders. One area that might not come to mind when you are thinking about local history would be right here in Riverbends Park. Today, Riverbends Park is nearly an 880-acre jewel that offers countless opportunities for visitors to play, hike, learn, and live. But before the township acquired the land for Riverbends Park in 1991, it had some unique history of its own. During the first year of the state of Michigan's existence, a major construction project was started that would make it possible to sail across the state by boat. It was called the Clinton-Kalamazoo Canal, but due to financial problems, only 12 miles of the project was completed. Sadly, it helped bankrupt the young state, but luckily for history buffs, you can still see some of what was started over 180 years ago. In the early to mid-1800s, Peter Learich and his family settled on a plot here in Riverbends Park. Being a prominent community leader and successful farmer, Peter risked his family's way of life by using his farm as a stop on the Underground Railroad. A small building built into a hill that housed a freshwater spring was used to conceal escaped Southern slaves who were looking to make their way to Canada and eventually freedom. Near the hill, a large cedar tree, which was used as a landmark to locate the safe stop, became known as the Beacon Tree. In the early 1940s, world heavyweight boxing champion Joe Louis purchased the Learich farm and the land and turned it into his training camp, as well as a horse riding stable and even his own club for get-togethers and nightlife. In the 1950s, during the Cold War, much of the land was used as a missile base, and it was part of the Detroit-Cleveland Defense Shield. It housed around-the-clock crews who were to launch surface-to-air missiles at incoming Russian long-range bombers should the communists attack the industrial sites that surrounded the Midwest. So whether you're a history buff and looking for more information on any of these amazing stories, or you just appreciate nature, you can find out more at the Shelby Township Nature Center. Call 586-323-2478. Riverbends Park in Shelby Township. It's a great place to learn and live. For The Living Show, I'm Arthur Shink.
It's time to put on your cape and lace up your sneakers and go up, and away to the Shelby Township Library, where you can quench your fix for comic books on Free Comic Book Day. Our April Morton swings in to see if she can snag a few.
It's Free Comic Book Day today, and patrons not only got the chance to get a free comic book, but they also had the chance to win this very cool Wonder Woman cutout. Batman, a princess, and a Ninja Turtle came out to enjoy the festivities of the day. Catherine with the Shelby Township Library explains how Free Comic Book Day came to be.
Free Comic Book Day started, I think, about 17 years ago as a way to just build enthusiasm for comic shops. And so publishers would print out special editions of some of the more popular comics, and then comic book shops would purchase these and then give them away to customers that came in to visit on that day. And so comic shops were starting to partner with libraries, and about 5 or 6 years ago we got involved, and the Friends of the Library donated the money so that we can purchase the comics to give out on this day. And so it's been very successful. It's a lot of fun, and families come in costume, and we've got a drawing station so they can create their own comic books.
In addition to creating their own comic books, if participants dressed in costume, they could enter to win this Wonder Woman cutout or a Star Wars drawing book. Catherine says this event really benefits the library.
But it's fun because they come in and see if they're not a regular library patron, they see what we have to offer. And we've had a bunch of families get library cards today that hadn't been in to visit recently, and so it's a really positive experience.
Free Comic Book Day takes place annually on the first Saturday in May at the Shelby Township Library. For a Living, I'm April Morton.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Now let's head over to Holland Ponds, where you'll catch the great blue heron nesting for all your bird watching enjoyment. First, we'll learn a little bit more about these majestic birds from our assistant nature interpreter, Megan English. Then we'll head over to the Heron Fest with Robert Gambrell, where he'll fill us in on all the festivities.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Great Blue Heron. So on May 5th we have a Great Blue Heron Festival that we're going to be doing over at Holland Ponds, which is just down the road here off of Ryan Road. So the Great Blue Heron is actually, it's awesome that we have them this close, that we can use them as an education tool, and that we have a great habitat for them here. Holland Ponds used to be one of the biggest heron rookeries in southeast Michigan. We still have quite the population that comes back every year to nest. Great blue herons have very high nesting fidelity, which means that they'll come back to the same site over and over again if it feels safe and if they are successful raising their young there. So we have a population of, we would say, 20 to 30 herons that come back every year. And you'll see their nests. Their nests basically look like giant platforms up in the trees, and they're just these big weird stick platforms that almost look like hunting blinds. And so they'll lay their eggs up there, and both the male and the female will take care of the chicks. They will come back, they'll take turns coming back and feeding them and protecting the nest. So they'll bring back anything from fish, they'll eat amphibians and small reptiles, they can eat snakes and turtles. Anything that they can basically fit down their throat is fair game for a heron. If you think about a heron, you know, they have the long stork-like legs. They're really good hunters, the long sleek bodies. It's perfect for, they stand in shallow water, and they basically search through the water. They take their feet and they wander around and they search through the water and push up stuff and make it move, and then they'll dive their heads down into it and basically spear it. And then when they come up, they'll swallow it down, and then they'll take that back to the nest and they'll feed it to their young the way most birds do. The great blue heron is, compared to a person, if it were standing next to me, head height would probably be up to my shoulder. They're really, really big birds. Their wingspan is like 4 feet, so they're huge if you see them up close. If you see them flying, I think they look pretty prehistoric. They look like dinosaurs, essentially, but they have a very smooth profile when they're in flight. Their legs go out behind them, and their head kind of tucks into their shoulders, so it almost looks like a pterodactyl, really. I mean, so they're pretty cool to watch, and they're great, like I said, to have in this area. They're an apex predator. There's not very much that hunts them, especially in this area. We don't have many huge predators. So they keep a lot of our smaller populations in check, which is really important for ecosystem health and really important for the Holland Ponds ecosystem.
The Heron Festival is all about celebrating the birds at Holland Ponds. However, there's much more to it than just looking at birds. There are a lot of activities that you can do at this festival as well.
Are going on guided walks to go see the herons and some of the other wildlife here at Holland Ponds. We have a cool game where you can try to use different things that mimic bird beaks. So like different kinds of birds have different kind of beaks, and you can test out your ability to be a bird.
This festival is really nice for the township and the nature center, and also for you, the residents, to have a fantastic time.
Festival is a really great time to get out and get into nature if you haven't been to Holland Ponds, and it's just an easy gateway to going and walking on your own and, you know, learning a little bit more every time you go out to nature and have a good time.
For Living in Shelby Township, I'm Robert Gambrell.
New arrivals have just hit the shelves at the Shelby Township Library. Let's see what we can bring home for a little bit of summer reading.
Sometimes the library also gets new audiobooks every week. Fiction, same great stories, but things you can listen to. Maybe you like to have an audiobook on while you're driving to and from work. Maybe you like to have it on while you're doing the dishes or cleaning the house. Whatever you like, we've got audiobooks for you too. If thrillers aren't your favorite kind of book, but you love a good story of family dynamics and relationships and what to do when tragedy strikes and how families can come together and recover, we've got a great new book by Danielle Steele. It's called Fairy Tale. Danielle Steele has now written over 165 books in her long career, and this, like so many of hers, is a wonderful story of families dealing with adversity. Another new audiobook that we have is actually a nonfiction book. Walter Isaacson has written many famous biographies over the last couple of decades, including one on Steve Jobs and Einstein. His latest goes back much further into history and focuses on the life and times of Leonardo da Vinci. He explores the amazing career that man had and how Leonardo da Vinci changed our world in so many ways that we're still realizing today.
And if you'd like to try some family movie fun, you might want to check out Pixar's newest movie, Coco. This won the Best Animated Feature at the Oscars this year and also won Best Original Song. It's about young Miguel who dreams of becoming a musician, but when he steals a guitar, he is sent to the land of the dead, and he's going to have to get the help of his long-dead great-great-grandfather to escape, get back to the land of the living, and realize his dreams. And for some of our older readers, teens might like to try Live in Infamy. It imagines an alternate future in which maybe the Axis powers had won World War II. Japan is ruling part of America, and with a second Revolutionary War about to break out, teen Ren Cabot is caught in the middle. And when he's offered a chance to join the resistance and topple the government, he's going to find out how much freedom costs and if he's willing to pay the price.
Check out any one of these books and all of our great new books at the Shelby Township Library.
Thanks for watching this edition of Living in Shelby Township. We'll see you next time.
Shelby Township Cleanup Day!
Cleaning up trash on the roadways is one of the best ways to pitch in for your community and the environment. And there is no doubt that this event is all about community coming together to keep our township clean and green.
It's important to help keep Shelby cleaner and greener, which is our motto for the Beautification Committee, and it just makes people happy when the roads are clean.
Litter is an eyesore, plain and simple, and that motivates so many to come out and work.
There's lots of groups. There's Boy Scout groups, Girl Scout groups, church groups. There's people that just walk in and just want to help and volunteer. We have a lot of school groups that come, and people from National Junior Honor Society and the National Honor Society, so high school and junior high groups.
It's better as everyone in the community. I mean, besides the roads don't look good, and then if we have people picking them up, then our community will look a lot nicer.
Just give back, like we're all a team and we just want to help the community and just help them.
I think it's pretty cool to get the entire team to come out here and do this. So.
I just feel like with our community, we really need to band together and do something good for our community.
It's important to keep the community clean and looking nice
for our neighbors and everybody who drives through here.
I just realized that a lot of people have been throwing trash on the grounds, and when people drive by, they see Van Dyke as we want them to make it seem like it's a welcome community where we want to just spread love and kindness around.
Like everyone knows that like trash in the environment, like in the trees, is not good, and like we're just trying to get rid of it to like I said, help the environment.
A lot of people just disrespect like the roads, and they just need to keep it clean.
And while hundreds of volunteers were working hard to clean up the roads, the annual Household Hazardous Waste Day brought out residents on a mission to do their part for our environment.
Well, it's our civic responsibility to help the environment, so we're really happy that people are coming out and getting rid of all their paint and their drugs and their electronics that they don't use anymore, and they don't put them in the landfill, so it's a really good thing for the community to be doing.
What about this back here?
Household hazardous waste includes products that we purchase and use every day in our home that contain materials that can harm us or the environment. Open to all township residents, this free event is the safest way to dispose of and recycle unwanted items within the home. And now, let's head back to the roads as cleanup day continues.
We're out here with my family, my wife, and our 3 kids. And we're cleaning up the stretch of Hayes Road between 25 and 26 Mile Road.
Now, why do you think an event like this is important?
It is extremely important. Well, first of all, people should not litter. People should not throw out garbage just anywhere. But if they do, this is why we do.
Yeah, we're actually talking We've done this for quite a few years. Actually, one of our charter members was Clarence Cook, who was very active in the Shelby Township as far as recycling and different things. So, unfortunately, he passed away this last spring, and we're doing this always in his honor. But he's always been very active in doing this.
It cleans up the earth and makes the roads look better. I know after I drive home, I can see that all the trash is picked up and it looks really nice.
Nice work.
Come here. Not listening.
Mike! Well, this is our stretch of road. We adopted the road many, many years ago. Don't know when, but it's been our road for as long as I can remember, and I've been with the troop for 10 years. So.
Well, tell me, guys, what kind of things are you finding on the roads today?
We found a baseball. We found like a lot of plastic and paper. We somehow got the Dorito bag.
It's kind of upsetting in a way because there's just a lot of it, and we have to take a couple minutes, like 20, on the ditch back there because all this trash was just stuck up in the brush and all this dirt and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what would you say to people that throw their garbage on the side of the road?
I don't want to be mean, but I wouldn't appreciate it, and I would be like, hey, that's not nice to do. It's hurting the environment. So I would be a little mad, but I would just tell them not to do it again.
So rumors are swirling that this is a big day for you two. Who wants to tell me why?
It's our trash anniversary.
What does that mean?
So we actually started dating a year ago doing this project, picking up trash.
Oh, so you fell in love with the cleanup day.
Yes, absolutely.
Very nice. So what brings you guys out every year?
To clean up and, help the community and do some charity.
All right, well, hey, I hope you guys have a romantic time cleaning up garbage.
Oh, we shall.
We'll hold hands.
Another great day in Shelby Township where community reigns supreme.